Okay, so now we're going to continue with our heart healthy recipes and with the winter edition of like hearty soup. So I'm going to do another one. We are going to do a hearty barley and veggie soup with some chickpeas or garbanzos. So I want to show you what we have here. Some carrots, onion, like half an onion, about a cup and a half of carrots, some chickpeas too. We're gonna add them. Our barley, which I'm gonna show you, is about half a cup or a little bit more. Some tomato sauce. If you can find it, preferably low sodium, that's good. Celery. That's all our ingredients we're gonna do. So we already have a little bit of olive oil in here. I'm gonna show you this induction. It's already heating. I can feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my aromatics. I don't know if you can hear it. It's a little bit of the sizzle. That's exactly what we want. The sizzle for that. And get your spoon. You can. There you go. So we're going to start cooking that. Not for long. Meanwhile, we're going to cut our celery. It's option to you. Some people, if you find celery that is kind of like, especially the outer leaves of the celery, you can peel it. Use your vegetable peeler and do a couple of passes of the peeling, just like that. You don't have to. Obviously, we're going to cook this and it'll actually soften it. But especially for salads and stuff, it's not a bad idea if you're doing a salad to chop it. So we can just I'm going to trim this with just a couple of ribs. The celery is also great with also potassium and also from great source of both soluble and insoluble fiber. If you ever think of which one do I need? Well, you need both. I'm going to put it in my pot, the celery. Insoluble fiber is sometimes they call it the roughage. And you know, all fruits have, well, not all, plant foods have both soluble and insoluble ones. Insoluble is the one that's the roughage and you basically are not going to digest. It's not going to break down into your body can't break it down. But actually, you know who could break it down? Some of the good bacteria in your stomach that helps you. So that's a good part. But in this time today, we're talking about heart health. It's the soluble fiber that we also want to add. So I just added my onions in here. And I'm gonna chop 1 clove of garlic. As that starts cooking, I'm gonna raise the heat just a little bit. And you can season this at that point with some salt and pepper. You can do a little bit of pepper right now. Easy on the salt. You could always add salt at the end at the table. And since we're having the tomato sauce that sometimes comes with some amounts of sodium, just be easy on it. Then I'm chopping my garlic back here. While I chop it, I'm telling you about the soluble fiber. So the soluble fiber, what it does, and this is great for heart health, is it actually in your stomach, it's almost like it works like a sponge. So it absorbs not only with water that you should be drinking regularly, but it absorbs the cholesterol and basically binds to it and removes it. When you go to the bathroom, it removes it. So for higher levels, people of cholesterol, you want a lot of soluble fiber, which again, it's in bananas, it's in a lot of, and here in the recipe, it's in the barley, it's in the chickpeas, any kind of lentils, beans of any kind will have a lot of that soluble fiber. The famous one for that is oats, which of course it does have. So every morning, have some oats, and that also helps. So here's my garlic going into my pot. Show you my pot right there, and continue cooking. Just a few minutes. It may turn a little translucent, the onion and the celery, and that's what we're looking for. I also like to add a little bit of Italian herb blend. You can do oregano if you want, just oregano. just like a pinch. If you think about it, it looks a little Italian. This recipe has a tomato sauce. Remember, dried herbs, give them a little rub in your hand, and at them, you'll get that waft, delicious smell of the herbs coming back to life. You can use vegetable stock. I'm going to just use water here. But so at this point, you let it cook just a little bit more, and then you can add your tomato sauce, which I always rinse well because I want all the tomato. So that's going to provide some of the flavor. Our chickpeas go in there. And directly we're going to add our barley. This is pearl barley. Goes in there. And now we're going to add vegetable stock or low sodium in particular. I don't have low sodium. I have water. So I'm actually going to have some water. It's just cold water. I just put it in a kettle. It's not like, I guess you can see it. If you're in a hurry, you can always have a kettle with hot water. But I like it to actually gradually heat up and start cooking. You're going to bring this to a simmer. As once it's in a simmer, you're going to lower the heat and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. The pearl barley should just like puff up, and then it'll just get really nice. So I'm going to show you one that I have already. I'm going to move this one here, but here you go. I'm going to show you our soup here. So what I did, and this you do last, and I can do a little bit more now, is grab some baby spinach, which I love, and I just add a little bit like that, the whole thing. If you have big spinach, not baby spinach, that's fine. You also add it. You can chop it a little bit so it's not too, it's easier for you to eat, but you just add a handful or so of the spinach. It'll just wilt in the last few minutes. Then you go ahead and make sure to taste it. And oh, it's almost there. I'm just a little bit of salt, not really a much, and then a little bit more pepper. And that's it. So I'm going to show you. We'll just serve it on a nice bowl. So this is a very hearty recipe. So you can, this is a whole meal. You don't need anything else.
Yeah, I love barley. It's filling, it keeps you going.
Well, it keeps you going. It's great for the winter. So here you go,
Yeah.
like this. And then, yes, you just like serve it like that. You can sprinkle a little bit of lemon if you want. Do a little bit of parm that I'm going to have with a little your zester. And just a little goes a long way. It just provides a little flavor. That's it. And then you just made, it's almost like a minestrone, but without the pasta. Instead of pasta, the pasta is actually the barley. And it's all pretty good things for you. So it's very hearty.